I ended up doing a 33-day fast,
Oh, wow.
and I just jumped right
Mm,
in, and I was like, this really does
jumped
work.
in.
And then I gained the weight back.
First of all, 33 days, that's not a joke. That's a serious fast.
But it's a fungal infection of the skin caused by Candida. And I said, well, I'm tired of throwing up, so maybe I should just start dry fasting.
Once you lose that first 50 pounds, like, you're going to look better, you're going to feel better. Hi, I'm Chris James, and you're watching A Healthy Alternative. Today, we have a special guest. Deborah is with us here today to talk a little bit about her health and wellness journey. And I think she's going to bring a little new perspective, talk about something that we haven't actually really touched much on the show. So I'm looking forward to that. If you're interested in hearing her story, that's coming up next. Okay, Deborah, thank you for joining me today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. So, as we were talking before the camera started rolling, you had mentioned you have been following the AHA brand or the family for a while now. Do you remember when you very first started following us?
It had to be like 2016, 2017. It was a long time ago.
Okay, that's the very beginning.
Yeah, the like when y'all had the fuzzy cam.
You said the fuzzy camera.
Yes,
Well, listen, that was the quality back then. Everybody's cut
right.
camera was fuzzy. That's what's up. Yeah, I started the channel at the end of 2016. So it was either the end of 2016 or 17. And
Mhm.
the first couple of people I interviewed was my brothers, my
Yeah.
brothers Steven and John, who um, it's just incredible how far we've come. Uh, at the time, Steven was probably like 380 pounds, 375 pounds, something like that. And now he's in the other room coaching. So it's been an amazing ride for us.
Yeah, it's
So
really.
what was I guess when you originally like found us, or what was it that you were looking to accomplish? Like, why did you seek wellness information?
Um, I was wanting to lose weight at that point, and I came across you guys, and you were talking about water fasting, and then of course you had your brothers on, um, talking about distilled water, and you had your little water distiller. Then you guys started talking about like the structured water in the sun. So I just kept following you guys, and then watching people's transformation, like Justin. Once again, your brothers, like a lot of people, and I was like, wow, this is so cool. So I just kept on it. I ended up doing a 33-day fast back in
Oh, wow.
2019. Yeah, that was like, there was no prep, there was nothing. I just jumped right
Mm,
in, and I was like, this really does
jumped
work.
in.
And then I gained the weight back. Yeah, that's how it
Yeah.
started.
That's a good little tidbit because first of all, 33 days, that's not a joke, right? Like, that's a
And I was
serious
working
fast.
I was working two jobs where I was a janitor back to back.
That's a lot of
It was,
standing and walking and bending over.
yeah.
That's rough. Yeah, when I was fasting, I was doing construction, so it was rough.
Hmm.
But the part that makes it rougher is to go through that process and then kind of gain the weight back. That definitely is disheartening. At least
Right.
it's what I've seen. So
Hmm.
I guess you learned from that process that it's important to maybe properly understand the whole thing, right? The prep, the fast, and the refeed.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. After the first fast, I stuck to fruits and vegetables for a little bit of time, and I was like, wow, this is so cool. I feel great. And then after a while, Chick-fil-A was like, come back.
All right. So let's talk about what it is that you were dealing with outside of the weight. Um,
Hmm.
I want to say maybe it was last week or 2 weeks ago. Shannon, she's actually my sister, but she's one of our admins. She had pointed out some pretty amazing transformation pictures where it
Hmm.
looked like you had like some type of rash or something going on with your skin. Can you kind of describe what that was?
So it's called Tinea versicolor. I think I'm saying it right. But it's a fungal infection of the skin caused by Candida overgrowth.
Okay.
Um, so having too much sugar, and
Okay.
yeah, that's what it was. But it was itchy, painful at times, and that was the worst it's ever been. It's never gotten that bad.
Mm. Now, how long have you been dealing with that?
Um, Off and on for a few years. The first time I dealt with it, I did keto, and it worked, pretty well. It took 6 days. Um, and then it would go away, and then I would go back to how I was eating before, and it would come right back. So,
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the roller coaster. I think so just from me listening to your story this far, the big takeaway is you can do something for a period of time, whether it's fasting for 33 days, whether it's keto for a week, and you can see the benefit. But if you don't really get it in your mind that this is a lifestyle change, this is
mhm,
something that you need to make lifestyle adjustments, then you run the risk of essentially losing the progress that you've made. So um, for those who are listening, I think just early on, that's a good way to kind of look at it. If you're ready to make a change in your life, understand that it's not like a momentary thing. You got to make the lifestyle change because the sugar, if the sugar is what's causing the issue for you, then obviously you can't keep consuming it, or you have to change how much you consume it, right? So
mhm.
what you just did the keto for, you said just for like 6 days, that was it? Or
That was it.
did you oh, okay. Okay. So after you did the keto, is your normal diet just like the standard American diet, or did you switch to anything else, alkaline or anything like that?
So normally I eat pretty healthy, but every once in a while there's Domino's, or I've cut out fast food. I mean, I guess Domino's is fast food.
It
But
definitely
as
is.
far as going to the drive through, things like that, I've cut that out. But eating out, like, I like to eat. So that's one of the things that I do struggle with, but I do my best to keep it clean, like making juices. Like, I have a Nama now. Um, Making things from scratch, not eating as much meat, using mushrooms in the place of meat, things like that. So I mean, I know what to do. It's just implementing everything and then sticking to just that.
Right. Yeah, and I mean it takes time, but
Hmm.
I think the difference between those people who get to I would say at least get on that path, and those who kind of struggle to stay on the path is just it's really just a decision. Like it's a
Right.
decision that, okay, there's certain things that I'm just not gonna have anymore. Like
Hmm.
when I changed my diet, I started doing alkaline, which I was very into, So I literally I wasn't eating anything GMO or whatever. I got rid of corn and broccoli, which I love those two vegetables, as well as like all the meat and processed stuff. I was making my condiments and everything from scratch. But ice cream was one of my favorite things. Like I'm not a big sweet person, but I
Hmm.
have my things. Ice cream was one of them. And I
Yeah.
told myself, well, I guess that's it. I just won't eat ice cream anymore because I had made a decision that my health and wellness was far more important than eating ice cream. And at the time, my hair was thinning. I had foggy memory, and I was declining like holistically. So
Okay.
I think for you, you just have to go inside and just look at everything going on. You know what I mean? And then make
Yeah.
a decision. Do you like the way that your health is progressing? Or are you like, no, this is gonna take me down the wrong path?
It's
So
definitely the wrong path. Like, yeah, no.
yeah. Yeah, you say you got the tools, you know? And
Yeah.
also I think that this what we're talking about today is a great stepping stone, is a great step in the right direction for you to just
Mhm.
it's easy to hear, it's easy to, you know, see someone else, but when you have your own experience, it's like, okay, it's like it's real now.
Right. Yeah.
So, tell me a little bit about like what your journey has been as far as trying to rectify this issue. Did you use like a mainstream medical doctor? Were there other therapies you tried? Tell me a little bit about the history.
Um, the first time I dealt with it, I did go to the doctor and they told me, we can prescribe you steroid cream. And I was like, oh, okay, well, no thanks. So that's when I did the keto. Um, and then it went away. It stayed gone for a little while. And then I went back to old habits and then it came back.
Mm.
Um, and it just, I didn't think about it a lot until it started to get really bad recently. Um, so then this time around, I didn't go to the doctor because I know about dry fasting. I don't know if you know about the Phoenix protocol, but I've read that a few times. So I basically just started prepping for a dry fast, and then I got sick with the stomach virus. And I said, well, I'm tired of throwing up, so maybe I should just start dry fasting. So that's what I did. And then I just kept going because my skin was the way that it was. And then it cleared up, and I was like, okay, good. So now I
Mm.
have to maintain.
Yeah, that maintain part, man. So the benefit of, I guess, your body and the way it reacts is it reacts very quickly to what you're doing. So whether it was keto or fasting, the body
Mm-hmm.
did react quickly, which is a good
Yeah.
sign. Because when it
Yeah.
comes to rashes, obviously doctors, they're going to come up with special names for everything. That way they can make it sound like more than what it is and give you different creams and stuff. But rashes, when it comes to skin rashes, it's basically the body is using the skin as a way to detox. That's
Mm-hmm.
essentially what it is. You can get into the weeds of it and kind of figure out more specifics about it. But if we understand that the body is using the skin as a detox point, then that means that we have some type of blocked elimination pathway internally. One of the methods or pathways that the body might prefer. And with fasting, it's very easy to see that because once you stop eating, there's nothing there for your body to be moving and doing and working on. And then
Mm-hmm.
also, it's kind of like I look at it as like a road crew. Like, imagine that you have a road crew that's trying to build this road, but they're
Mm-hmm.
literally all they do is eat. Like they're not actually working. They're not actually mixing the concrete. They're not leveling. They're just eating all the
Right.
time. It's
Yeah.
really, or they're trying to work and eat. You know what I'm saying? It's
Mm-hmm.
like very difficult to work and eat in that type of industry. And so by fasting, it's like, okay, lunchtime's over, break is over, go get to work. And then you start seeing the road actually get developed. And that's
Right.
kind of like what fasting's all about, where we look at it the opposite way. We think if we're feeding our body, that is a good thing. It's going to work for us. It's going to do all this stuff. And it's like, nah, I'm tired. I've been eating all day.
Right. Yeah. I talk to people about fasting, and when they don't really understand, I ask them, I say, okay, think about all of the organs that you have in your body. A majority of them are dedicated to digesting food. So, what do you think would happen if you stopped eating?
Mm,
And they're like, you know what? That makes sense. I'm like, yeah, it does. It does.
yeah. Well, that's the importance of understanding like just how the body functions on a very basic level, because
Mm-hmm.
you can logically work things out if you understand the absolute basics.
Right.
So when the doctors that offered you the cream, I'm assuming you just said no, you rejected that.
Mm-hmm.
You did the keto, you saw the benefit, and then after a while the rash came back because you slipped back into your old habits. And then
Mm-hmm.
at that point you were like, okay, let's do the fasting. Now, did you actually do the Phoenix protocol, or did you just do dry fasting?
So I did the Phoenix protocol like 3 months ago. This
And
time I just did the dry fast. I was just like, because I was sick. I was felt terrible, so I just
okay.
started it right then and there and just jumped right into it. Yeah, this time, and mind you, I'm still breastfeeding. I have a
Oh,
yeah, I
oh,
have a 2 year old. So
yeah,
it's yeah, our bodies are amazing. I'll say that.
yeah. That's definitely a challenge right there.
Yeah.
Um, okay. So, are you fasting right now?
No, I'm getting ready to go into a water fast. I want to do 30 days, maybe more, depending on how I feel. I have a pretty sedentary job, so I think I may be able to go a little longer.
Okay. And
Yeah.
have you tried juice fasting with this, or do you just do water dry? And
Uh, I just do water. I was juice fasting, but for me with juice fasting, I don't do it long enough to see results. Like I'll start
Mhm.
it and I'll be like, okay, this is cool, and then I'll just be eating like not crazy, but I'll just be eating
Yeah,
other things. For me, it's also the cost. Um, so I kind of stay away from juice fasting, but I will juice still in addition to my diet or healthy eating.
gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, juice fasting obviously is a little bit more expensive than well, it's a lot more expensive than other fasting methods because you have to purchase that food.
Right.
But it allows you to fast for long durations of time with
Mm-hmm.
I'll say minimal effort because it's pretty easy to juice fast compared to like other fasts. And then
Yeah.
on top of that, if you're breastfeeding, if you drink a lot of juice, which by the way, just for those listening, you don't have to drink like apple juice. Green juice is a great, I'll just say low glycemic juice is a great option for juice fasting. But, you could also mix some seeds in there too, maybe some fennel and stuff like that to help keep the
Mm-hmm.
milk production high. But I just wanted to ask, throw it out there, just as an option, especially if if you want to do something longer, and then you kind
Mm-hmm.
of I don't know how your breast milk production is when you fast like that, so I just figured
Yeah.
I'd throw it out there.
I mean,
But
being that it's been such a long time, it's pretty established. If my child was younger, I wouldn't have done the dry fast because
yeah,
he at that point he would have been dependent on the milk, and at this point
hmm,
he's eating other foods. So it's like he's
right.
just supplementing at this point. So I was like, okay, he'll be okay.
I'm curious, just your personal opinion. Do
Hmm.
you, or maybe even you've done some research on this? How long do you think that a child either should breastfeed, or how long is it beneficial to? Because I feel like a child will breastfeed till 5 if you let them.
Right.
So it's like you think, okay, because with other animals, I think after a certain time, I'm assuming the
Hmm.
animal, the baby, will just be like, all right, cool, I'm good. But with human
Right.
babies, it seems like they'll breastfeed forever. So,
Right.
what's your opinion on that?
Um, I think with breastfeeding, definitely to 1 year. Um, I would say for me, the cutoff got to be like 4, because at that point you're out and your kid just lifting your shirt up like any given time. But as far as their development and the nutrition that they get from it and how beneficial it is, like if you're sick or the baby is sick and they breastfeed, they'll recover faster, things like that. So I feel as though
Mm,
it's important to go at least a year. Um, but yeah, cut that baby off at like 4, 3 if you
yeah.
can. I'm trying to now, but he's like, no.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder. I want I like because my mom definitely breastfed us. I
Hmm.
don't know how long. I gotta ask her, but I would imagine definitely for a year. That's what I would assume.
Yeah.
She had 5 children, so she was always pregnant, and she probably always
Oh,
had milk. So, but I don't remember. I don't remember ever breastfeeding. So, and I remember being 3 years old. So
hmm.
we were. I wasn't breastfeeding at 3, as best as I can recall.
Okay.
Um, but it just seems like a funny thing, like especially at 3 or 4, when the child is just so they have so much character. They're they're moving around, and they just flip the breast up and just start getting it in.
Like I want a snack right now.
um, but I'm with you. Like I think that breastfeeding is one of those things that is there's so many different elements that try to stop women from breastfeeding,
It's
whether
crazy.
it's shaming women in public for breastfeeding their children, which is crazy to me, or
Hmm.
just science and studies that
Hmm.
come out and say, oh, formula's just as good. You know what I'm saying? And this is not a slight, because it's always that person. It's like, you're putting down women that can't breastfeed. No, I'm not. I'm talking about
Right.
women that can breastfeed, and I'm talking
Hmm.
about how long it would be beneficial. So if you
Yeah.
can't breastfeed and you have to do an alternative, we understand that. Do the best that you
Hmm.
can. However, for those who do have the option to breastfeed, I'm with you. I think a year is probably minimal. I think I would say probably like 2 years. Um,
Right.
just would be like just a good middle ground, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so what is your goal? So you've really kind of figured out like the skin disorder. You understand that well. You know what you can do to eliminate it. You know what keeps it under wraps. Cool. And so now is your focus on weight, or are there some other things that you want to resolve?
There's weight, and then there are other things. So I have high blood pressure. And I know that when I'm fasting, it goes way down. Like I have the little monitor cup, and those numbers they be nice on the fast.
Oh yeah.
um, I have maintained a little bit of weight loss. My highest weight was 315. And then I fasted and I came down some, but you know how I go. You go back to old habits, it comes back.
It comes
But
back.
my
Yeah.
goal is to lose around 150 pounds total.
Okay.
So that's my next thing. Y'all gonna see my posts and
Listen, momentum is important. You got some good
yeah.
momentum going right now. And
Hmm.
this, believe it or not, this interview is going to provide some momentum as well. So use this as an opportunity to really lock in and, write your goals out. If you haven't already, you may have already done that, but, write
Yeah.
your goals out and write out your protocol, like what it is that you want to do. And
Hmm.
that will be some form of like personal accountability there.
Right.
Do you happen to be a part of our community, AHA communities?
Not the Facebook group, the other one.
Right, the other one.
No.
No? Okay. Join AHA communities. It's free.
Okay.
It's basically like Facebook, but we're not shadow
Mhm.
banned, so we can actually interact and stuff. But
Okay.
yeah, it's a great resource, and I would love for you, if you're gonna kind of document your story. I mean, I'm not telling you don't share it on Facebook, definitely do, but I'm just saying, like, come share it with AHA communities too,
Okay.
please. And
I
the
will.
community yeah, the community's so tight over there, you know what I mean? So you'll get a lot of support. But
Okay. I like that.
the 150 pounds, I know that sometimes when you're at your beginning, you're like, dang, 150 pounds, that can feel like a lot. But don't forget that once you lose that first 50 pounds, like, you're gonna look better, you're gonna feel better, your clothes are gonna fit different. So
Hmm.
even just losing 50 pounds, like, that progress is gonna be very significant.
Yeah.
And even if you do it over the period of a year and a half or 2 years,
Hmm.
just making that forward progress is the
Yeah.
key, right? And not
Yeah.
backsliding. So,
Right.
um, what
Yeah.
are some of your, I don't know if we should say like cravings, or what are some of the foods that are pitfalls for you, you know?
Oh, definitely. I like sweets. Ferrero Rocher, I call them. I
Uh,
love the little chocolate things, so I don't buy them. But if somebody gives them to me, they getting ate up. um, cheese, but I know that like the way that it affects my body, it makes me itch now. Like if I want to eat some
mm,
cheese right now, I'm gonna start itching, and I'm just like, okay, like I can go without cheese. But
mm,
it's mostly like high carb foods that are my thing, and I know I need to stay away from them because one, the skin thing. I don't have diabetes, and I don't want to have diabetes.
right.
So
Mm,
yeah, that's another reason why I'm trying to stay away from it. But those are the pitfalls. Like I have a 12-year-old, and he likes to eat sugary snacks. I don't buy them for him, but if he goes to grandma's house, he's coming back with a pack of triple stuffed Oreos. I didn't know it was a thing.
yeah, I
And
didn't
I'm
either.
like, yeah. I said, are those double stuffed Oreos? He's like, no, they're triple. And I'm
Oh my
like,
good.
I said, don't eat all of those. And he's like, okay. And the next day I came down and they were all gone.
Gone.
Um, but yeah, it's definitely the sugary foods and the high carb foods.
Okay. What I was gonna say is what helped me, and once again, I'm not a huge sugar person and a sweet person, but I had my little things.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of to round off the story I was telling about the ice cream, I had said, okay, I'm gonna probably never be able to eat ice cream again. And I went through this process of just discarding that along with many other things. And then through
Mm-hmm.
my journey, I came across this lady, Beverly, who has a restaurant in Philadelphia called All the Way Live. And she had ice cream on the menu, but her restaurant was a vegan, like a vegan alkaline restaurant. And
Okay.
I'm like, that those two don't mix. How do you have ice cream at a vegan alkaline restaurant? Comes to find out, you can make ice cream out of any cream. So she would use coconut cream to make her
Mm,
ice cream. And it
okay.
just clicked for me. Like, I was like, oh my God, I can have, it's not like I can't have this stuff anymore. I just might have to put more effort into it, whether it's making it home or sourcing it from somewhere where the ingredients are different, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I say all that to say, for you, if there are certain foods that you are craving, or you know they are a weak point for you, what I did was I said, okay, I'm not going to have this food, and if I do, I got to make it from scratch. You know, like that
Yeah.
was the kind of the transition that I created for myself, and
Mm-hmm.
it worked out because number one, my cooking skills improved, but also when you make, even if you like, I love lasagna. If you make lasagna from scratch versus going to the store and buying a Stouffer's lasagna,
Mm-hmm.
those are two different food products. They're going to
Right.
impact your digestive system completely different. So, I put out a video not too long ago. One of the biggest issues we have today is the fact that we just don't cook from scratch anymore.
Yeah, that's a
Everything's
problem.
processed,
Yeah.
you know? So even if you're making food at home, what people don't realize is all the ingredients are coming from a box or a bag. So that's not how they used to cook, back in the
Mm-hmm.
day. They would make all the individual ingredients and put it all together. And the food tastes better, number one. But number two, your body digests it because there's no stabilizers, artificial flavors, and,
Right.
just weird chemicals in it. So
Mm-hmm.
that's just a little, something maybe that'll help you out along your way to stay on the path that you're looking.
Yeah.
And we look forward to seeing your growth and your progress. Um, I want to give you an opportunity to share anything that maybe I missed, or anything that you want to share. I'm sure, people probably going to ask where they can find you. I don't know if you want
Mhm.
to share that at all, but that's up to you.
Um, I'll share my YouTube. There's nothing on there yet. Um, it's Evolve Life Transformations. It's like a black logo. It's
Okay.
that on TikTok as well, but there's no S. So on TikTok, it's just Evolve Life Transformation. There's some
Okay.
posts on that one, um, documenting the most recent dry fast. So the weight loss as well as the skin stuff. I'm on Instagram as Evolve, but it's like E.V.O. Like the rest of it just dots in the space. Um,
Gotcha.
but yeah, my other channels y'all don't need the video.
All right.
I won't give those out.
So your goal to use primarily dry fasting then?
Um, I'm not sure about using primarily dry fasting because the job that I have to talk on the phone all day long. And I feel like with dry fasting, that's the time you need to keep your mouth closed, like be quiet, just be able to be, because your mouth
Yeah.
gets so dry. I think if I wasn't talking all day, I would have been able to go a little longer on the dry fast. The protocol that I did have written, it does include dry fasting. So it's like in the beginning, it's like 10-day increments. So it's like 8 days water, 2 days dry. Then the next one is 5 days water, 5 days dry. Then the next one, just cut down the time with the water. So I've thought about it, but now I'm kind of like, maybe I should just stick to majority water fasting, or at least until I can get a job that doesn't require me to talk all day, so I can like
Gotcha.
make it through.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming, sharing your journey, being vulnerable, and I really hope that this is something that can help motivate you, keep you going. Maybe you can refer back to it.
Yeah.
It's like a time stamp. It's like you can
Hmm.
listen to yourself talk about your goals and what it is you want to accomplish, and you know, kind of keep you on that track, because you've been with us for so long. I would love to see
I
you,
know.
kind of hit your goals and then come back. Like I want you to come back next year and be like, "Hey, Chris, look, you know what I mean? We did
I did it.
it." So, if you all enjoyed this interview, please hit the thumbs up button. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe. And as always, the application of knowledge is power. And I will see you all next time.